Hello, Yuveka Rangappa. Indeed, the Indaba has brought together key role players in the agricultural sector, and the Minister of Agriculture, John Steenhuisen, earlier delivered opening remarks. And he joins me now, perhaps, to take this discussion forward. Minister, thank you so much for making time for us. Foot and mouth disease, I could hear that almost speaker after speaker is sounding the alarm that this is something that essentially threatens food security.
Absolutely, not only food security, but also our ability to grow the agricultural economy, but also, most importantly, to get important international revenue in for South Africa. Very clearly, if we want to grow South Africa's agricultural sector, we've got to diversify our markets for it. Currently, foot and mouth is holding us back from exporting our excellent beef products into other key markets around the world, and thereby holding back some of our rural areas and some farmers in South Africa from being able to really achieve that full potential.
Yeah, and I suppose the idea is that you would want to quarantine the animals who are infected in those very specific provinces. And so far we know about 5 provinces, the latest being the Free State. But you spoke about the concept of regionalization. Maybe break it down for us. How is it going to be different from the current interventions?
So I think that what we need to do is to set very clearly demarcated regionalizations of units in South Africa that will ensure that when there are foot and mouth outbreaks in certain provinces, it doesn't shut down the entire system of export for the whole country. We have large parts of the country, the Northern Cape and the Western Cape, that don't have any foot and mouth outbreaks in them whatsoever, and yet they are not able to export to China and other markets because of the foot and mouth disease vaccine, foot and mouth outbreak that we have currently. And so what we're doing over the next 2 days is bringing together the department and industry, vets, scientists, researchers together, and for the first time to develop a national strategy and roadmap about how we're going to deal with foot and mouth. We can't continue to have these outbreaks that happen in various provinces. We need to have a national roadmap, and everybody, whether it's the private sector and the government, needs to know their role in it.
Yeah. There was one expert who spoke about the impact of this at the macro level, to a point that it will affect the GDP if it's allowed to continue. But maybe let me ask you, are you perhaps aware at the micro level of firms, of organizations that have had to fold because of this particular disease?
Well, there are many, and many that are in deep trouble now as a result of the inability to be able to get their products to market as quickly as possible. It affects the supply of beef and animal products into the market, which means prices go up for consumers. So it has knock-on effect all throughout. And there are companies that were relying on exports that are no longer able to export, for instance, to the European Union. We can't export in there. But our neighbors in Botswana and Namibia are exporting freely into those markets, and we are losing out as a result of it.
I have 2 final questions for you, Minister. Let's perhaps start with this one. You mentioned Namibia. They are able to export, whereas we have restrictions here and there. Earlier, you did mention that we have run out of vaccine, and we even had to import that from Botswana. How did we even get to that level, given the fact that the foot and mouth disease is not a new thing in this country?
Well, we haven't run out of vaccines. We've imported 900,000 vaccines from Botswana. About 8 to 10 years ago, the ability to produce our own vaccines in South Africa was lost because of the loss of the quality of the laboratory. It didn't meet international standards to be able to manufacture vaccines. The ARC, however, is in the process of revitalizing a laboratory. We will be able to soon start producing our own vaccines, and they're making presentations about that over the next 2 days, which are going to be very, very important. And we will then be able to, I believe, in the short to medium term, be able to get our own vaccine, which will meet our own demands.